And we have streaming. It's a strange noise. Did you hear that noise in there? Weird. Hey, welcome. Welcome to the stream. It's a day. Some interesting things have happened, and tonight I'm going to be streaming the end of Mother 3. But before we do that, I have to address some news that has been crazy, to say the least. And it's news that people have been letting me know about, and they're like, Vinny, are you okay? I think it's fine. So Metroid Prime 4 has been delayed. I guess, you know, most people know that I'm a pretty big Metroid fan. I was really excited about Metroid Prime 4. And I think this is actually really good news, and it's nothing I didn't expect. I think the problem with Metroid Prime 4 having any realistic expectations for 2019 was we haven't seen anything of it other than this logo a year and a half ago. So for a while I was really suspicious, like, where is this game? I thought like 2020 was the earliest, but at this point it's probably going to be something like 2021. For those that don't know, there's a video from Nintendo. It's, you know, almost 1 million views now, I think, and the senior managing executive officer of development, Shinya Takahashi, did a video, 3 minutes, talked about how Metroid Prime 4 was not meeting expectations. It was a challenged development. It wasn't overly specific, but it was a lot of, listen, we're, you know, we want to make a good game, and it's just not happening. And I feel like that's the best thing they could have done. I'm really happy that they decided to delay this and to actually change developers. So halfway through the video, they say that they're working on it with Retro now. So the project lead, the series producer, Kensuke Tanabe, is working with a talented new development team, right? But it's Retro. Now that raises a host of other questions, and I want to go through that because it sounds good on the outset, but there's a couple things to unpack here. Well, first thing is, I'm a little sad that development is restarting. Yes, I would have liked Metroid Prime 4 in 2019. That would have been nice, but I would prefer a better game than a shittier game. It was rumored that Bandai Namco was the developer working on it, and they're usually pretty good, but Metroid is traditionally a Western-focused game, or rather, it's had popularity, and I think some rumors were that, like, a lot of Japanese studios didn't understand the appeal of Metroid Prime, and so giving a game like Metroid Prime to a Japanese developer who doesn't understand Metroid, or specifically Metroid Prime series, I mean, that's not good. So that's, whatever happened obviously wasn't, that's all hearsay, but the thing is, whatever happened obviously wasn't working, and so the video, you know, they go on to talk about we're trying again with Retro. Retro is a fantastic developer, and the first thing that comes to mind is this the same Retro that made the Prime trilogy? And a lot of people would say no. And it's almost a cliche to even say that at this point, because, you know, development teams lose staff. It's a regular thing, but there was some other stuff with Retro in the news. There were some rumors that maybe things weren't going so great at the studio. So I'm happy that Retro has it. I'm cautiously optimistic, though, and I do think that whatever Retro's doing now, they're still able to produce really high-quality stuff. They are clearly still the best team for this game, and even if they lost some people, I feel like they can still make it work. So that's whatever, you know, whoever's gone, whatever is still in effect over at Retro that made Metroid Prime great, I think they can pick up where they left off. It kind of raises the question, though, why didn't Retro take the reins from the beginning? And my theory about that is they were working on another game, and they weren't even close to done, and maybe Nintendo was like, we don't want to tap into them just yet because they're busy, or because maybe there was some trouble. I don't know. I mean, it should have been them from the start. But where is this other game? Star Fox Kart? it's confusing to me because we've heard about Retro making a game for such a long time, but yet there's nothing on this game. So I'm thinking maybe the game is done. Maybe they finished it, or they're close to finishing it, and now is the right time for them to take on a new project. Maybe they can just have a couple people finish up this other game. We'll see it at E3. They'll release it at the end of the year, and then full speed ahead for Metroid Prime 4. I mean, I liked their last game, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, and I liked their last game before that, 5 years ago, which was Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. And hopefully Starfax, what is this? Bombad Racing? Thank you, chat member, for that. Starfax, Bombad Racing. You send a fax, and that's how quickly you move through space. Whatever that rumor was, it's ridiculous, but I'd play it. I mean, sure, why not? But a new IP would be nice from Retro too. So ultimately, again, I think it's good news. I feel pretty good about this. Restarting development is that's a fucking bold move on Nintendo's part to be this transparent. I'm glad they were this transparent about it, and apparently a lot of other people were as well, because these are the likes on the video right there. So, again, if you haven't seen the video, the developer, Takahashi, is very honest and open about this. And he seems, you know, like he wants to just tell you the thing that's going on. It's not like he's trying to do any corporate bullshit. That's cool. Now, if you take this and you flip it, that's the like-dislike ratio for Federation Force. So at least it's not that all over again. And Federation Force, I will argue, is still not that bad of a game. It just came out at the wrong time, and it was also just too mediocre for a Metroid title. And just especially not after having a drought of Metroid titles for like 10 years or whatever it was. So this is good. At least they're being transparent and saying, hey, we fucked up. We're gonna try again, and we're gonna tap into Retro. Now, there is one last rumor that I want to talk about, and this is just a rumor. One of the editors of Game Informer, Imran Khan, said in a tweet that, well, I'll read the tweet. Hearing that the big problem with Metroid Prime 4 development was Nintendo's experimental ad hoc development process. It was being made in parts in different countries. Some studios were trucking along, saying it was going smoothly, while it was on fire elsewhere. Internal thinking was that it needs to be all under one roof to right the ship. Interestingly, Retro made the pitch for their involvement and put together a demo that Nintendo liked. I don't know how true that is. That's a rumor. It seems like a good enough source. Who knows? But if that's true, I would like for it to be true. I would like for, you know, Retro to have stepped in and said, hey, we got something that you might like. I just sneezed off the microphone. I'm good now. But whatever, that's a weird concept. That's a weird concept. Having a bunch of different teams make it in parts, and it just, like, you know, sets itself on fire. So, I guess that's it. I feel like making a separate video for this so people can just watch it on their own, and, you know, I had a lot of thoughts about it. So this isn't my usual thing. I don't often make videos where I talk about like one particular piece of news, but it's a big one, and it's trending apparently on YouTube. And my main points for the future are: I'm optimistic. I want to see what the fuck Retro was working on, and I'm glad that they didn't continue polishing a turd. That's what went wrong with the Hobbit movie. Del Toro left, and Peter Jackson had to start over with only 3 months of prep. And they had to scrap everything. In this case, Retro can just take their time. Sure, it might come out in 2 years. It might come out 2022. But hopefully it will be good. So I know apples to oranges. Apples to oranges. But still. Anyway, thanks for listening. Let's hope for Metroid Prime Trilogy in the meantime.